Hey everyone, I'm Roy Nam, CEO and co-founder of Airbridge. Airbridge is a mobile measurement partner, MMP, trusted by more than 500 global leading brands in the world. Lately, I've been hearing a lot of rising interest around re-engagement campaigns, especially in gaming. While verticals like e-commerce, retail, and finance have long embraced re-engagement strategies, gaming, particularly in the casual segment, hasn't quite had the same level of adoption. So today, I'm thrilled to dive deeper into this topic with a global leader who's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible in gaming re-engagement. Joining me is Taoufik Lazrak, Chief Revenue Officer at Adikteev. So Taoufik, welcome. Well, could you briefly introduce yourself first?
Hello everyone. Thank you a lot, Roy. My name is Taoufik. I've been at Adikteev for 11 years now, and I lead our global sales and business development efforts. I'm based in San Francisco, but I spend a lot of my time traveling all over the world to stay close to the pulse of the industry and meet our partners.
So you're here in Korea with me right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually my fourth time in the past 12 months in Korea, which means that we really first like to be in Seoul, but also we're really excited about our growth in the APAC market starting from here.
That's great.
Thank you.
So, Adikteev's known for shaking things up in gaming re-engagement space. So what's the one thing right now that excites you about Adikteev's approach to re-engagement campaigns?
That's not an easy question, because choosing only one thing, especially for me being here so many years at Adikteev. But if I had to choose one thing that excites me the most right now, I would say it's our ability to deliver measurable incremental value to our gaming clients. We've gone way beyond classic retargeting. Now it's all about proving ROI and driving meaningful impact. This is especially true in casual gaming, where engagement was often seen as ineffective or irrelevant. We've shown that not it only works, but it can also become a sustainable revenue stream along with the user acquisition efforts.
Got it. So we need to definitely touch base this measurable component of re-engagement campaigns, like in some of the follow-up questions.
Yeah.
But maybe just before going into that, I want to understand more about Adikteev as a company and as a product. So, Adikteev has seen impressive adoption among global clients like Mattel, Papaya, Voodoo, Triple Dot, and even rising stars in APAC like Netmarble. So in a crowded DSP space, everyone claims that they're the best, right?
Yeah.
So what distinct value does Adikteev bring to optimizing retargeting and re-engagement campaigns that others don't?
So if I had to choose three things that really make Adikteev stand out in this crowded space, as you say, because every DSP claims that they are the best in what they're doing. So I would start first. We've been working hand in hand with the gaming industry since day one. Gaming is by far our number one vertical. That focus allows us to go deeper in understanding the user behavior, monetization models, and what really works for engagements. Trained on billions of data points from the gaming inventory that we have, our bidding algorithms are built for one thing, dominating the vertical. So we showed for the past year that we were dominating the gaming as we were recognized as the first retargeting DSP for gaming in the market. And as we used to say, some things money don't buy, experience can bring it.
Yeah.
So this is like the first thing. Second, we take a high data-driven approach. Before launching any campaign with any clients, we conduct deep pre-launch analysis. We apply advanced audience segmentation, and we have also our in-house studio. What I mean in-house studio, I mean the creative studio that help our partners build innovative ads for their campaigns. And above all this, all what I'm saying is here to optimize the performance and reach our clients' goals.
Got it. So definitely Adikteev being a DSP that is built for games and really, accumulating the experience for many years really help you become a distinctive DSP in this space. Yeah,
definitely. And if I had to add one thing, I would call it the team. At Adikteev, we call our team the Addict team. So many of us has been here working for this company, or at least in this space for more than 10 years. Myself in 11 years, some of my peers 10 years, 9 years, 6 years, etc. So our clients stick with us not only because we are delivering their performance and KPIs, but also because of the level of service and expertise they get from our team.
Great. So now we understand who you are and what Adikteev is and what you're good at. I want to actually talk about the market and the trends and the insights that we can deliver to the audience today. So you've got a bird eye view and a ground level perspective of the re-engagement world. So what current best practices are consistently proving most effective for the gaming clients? Can you share some? Yeah.
Of course, happy to answer this question. First, I would say we embrace a smart data-driven audience segmentation. It's not about targeting active users, which is the main known thing in retargeting. We're also engaging lapsed users, and we're even converting non-paying users. The more granular the segmentation is, the better the performance will be for our clients. Another key point, we tailor our strategies based on the game's monetization model. IAP and IAA are completely different. So for each game, it requires different approach. And when a game runs a blended model, means that having both of them, that's where things get interesting, because we're gonna craft a hybrid strategy to make sure we're capturing the full value across both revenue streams. And on top of that, we're big believers in creative strategy. We have a lot of varieties on A/B testing, so it's not just about pushing ads or like pushing several ones at the same time. We're consistently testing different formats, placements, and messages that are specifically adapted to retargeting, and this helps us identify what truly resonates for each user segments.
Got it.
And there's one small thing, which is about the geo. So when we work with gaming studios, we always start our campaigns by targeting a global reach worldwide. And then you have our, let's say, bidding or smart bidder or the bidding methodology that will adapt automatically the geos depending on where we have the strongest LTV signals. So at the end, it's a mix of strategy, creativity, and tech. And at the heart of it, it's all about staying agile to help our clients and work hand in hand to reach their goals.
Got it. So you talked about these three things: segmentation, creative, and also the geo-targeting. And in terms of segmentation, you actually emphasize that it's better for you to utilize Adikteev's technology to segment users as much as you can into different groups of users, like dormant users, lapsed users, or those like non-paying customers, but still playing the game.
Definitely.
And also in terms of creatives, you also mentioned that creative is so much important. And lastly, in terms of geo, you advise them to actually run the campaigns globally first, and just using your smart bidding system, they can actually drill down into some of the more effective geos than the others.
Exactly.
And maybe just as a follow-up question, I haven't intended to ask you this, but after hearing your thoughts, I may have to for the audience. So some of these customers are worried that, oh, like if I actually just open up the geo targeting, it might going to affect some of our strategies, and they're worried that their budget might be consumed too fast. Do you still think that like opening up to the wider countries and wider geo can benefit them in the longer term?
Actually, this is something very, very interesting. So it's not because we're going to target all the geos that the budgets of the clients will be spread like just like that, and we're going to spend the whole of it within one day. No, we have our bidding again machine. We also have what we call our churn prediction algorithms that I'm speaking about, that I can speak about, sorry. So those models will help the machine predict the value of each users before displaying an ad to this person. So if we're targeting only US or worldwide, it's gonna work at the same time. Because if the machine doesn't feel confident before displaying an ad to this user, we won't display it.
Got it. So it's based on an individual personalized algorithm, not really just targeting one country or another. Because of that, you're just predicting each user's like churn probability and their, affinity for purchasing an IAP product inside the game. So you just use this personalized algorithm. So that is the reason why you're confident that you can just open up the geo and just start from there.
Exactly, and everything's automated nowadays because we've been doing this for almost 10 years now. So it's quite easy, like to put all these KPIs in our machine, and it's gonna do the job itself.
Got it. Well, another like follow-up question, just based on what you just shared, I want to ask you about this blended ROAS.
Yeah.
Recently we're seeing a lot of rise of these hyper casual gaming studios in the world, and publishers. They're definitely like monetizing like through IAA and IAP at the same time. Like for example, 70% IAA, 30% like remove as kind of products like IAP. So do you think that the blended ROAS, the T-ROAS campaigns work best with the casual gaming companies, like hybrid casual? Or what do you think about like them just like only combining to the IAP optimization or the IA optimization? Yeah.
I would say from our experience and expertise in the past years, that the more you are hybrid for those kind of games, the better it is. Having only ads make it more complicated for them to engage users because the revenue they get from the ads will be naturally lower than the revenue they get from the IAPs. So having a strategy, that's why they call themselves now hybrid. So having this hybrid strategy where you can be 50-50 or even 70% IAP, 30% IAA is much better, at least for the re-engagements and to get to these ROAS targets.
Got it. So you mean that definitely you recommend a lot of these hyper-casual gaming studios or the mid-core gaming studios to try hybrid monetization, and at the same time you recommend them using the blended ROAS as a T-ROAS optimization mechanism.
Yes. Yeah. And we can see it within the past years where there were so many huge studios that were completely hyper-casual, and now they're almost all either moved or are on the way to move into hybrid.
Got it. So blended ROAS it is.
Yeah.
So maybe another question about the market I want to ask you is, you've been working with a lot of gaming studios globally, and you've likely heard some interesting ideas and misconceptions about re-engagement. Let's just say, some misconceptions could be, what are like the top 3 myths or misconceptions you've had to debunk?
So if I want to speak about those misconceptions, I would take 3 of them. The first one I would say that have been in the market for years, re-engagement campaigns do not work for casual games as they have shorter user life cycle. There's also incrementality and view-through.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to address each one here. So let's start with the fact that re-engagement campaigns do not work for casual games. This is not true. I don't agree. With the right audience targeting, with the right creative strategy, casual games can see significant performance uplift from re-engagements. We've seen strong results when campaigns are aligned with in-game game events, content drops, monetization windows. The key is personalization. Even casual user responds when the message feels relevant. So thinking that casual gaming are not, let's say, made for engagement, it's not true. It's all about how you address it. Then if we move to the incrementality, why am I speaking about incrementality here? Because we've always heard this sentence from several people, why should I do any re-engagements? Who's gonna confirm to me, who's gonna guarantee me that people are not coming back on their own and making purchase on their own? So this is where incrementality comes. So we've been at Adikteev the first to pioneer incrementality testing. We were the first one to release it in the market space. We proved every day that incrementality can be accurately measured as long as the testing framework is clean and aligned with the right requirements. What does it mean? You can have sometimes some partners who want to show the value for targeting, but there's a lot of bias. So to avoid this bias, we have several requirements that we put together to make sure that it's gonna work and the tests will be unbiased.
Makes sense.
And then the view-through. A lot of people will tell you, we don't believe in view-through. This is not true. Today, the landscape is complex, it's very competitive. So there are multiple layers of advertising partner. So adopting this mixed attribution model is essential. Every touch point counts. This is especially true in gaming because repeated exposure drives results. We know it in gaming. So when it comes to retargeting, if we have a well-crafted message that may not allow trigger a click, it can still influence the user decision to buy, and that impacts the needs to be properly valued.
Okay. So what you just said is really interesting in the fact that, casual games normally has a shorter life cycle compared to mid-core and hardcore games. And then many people might, ask is it really possible for us to, reach incrementality with this short life cycle? And you're saying that it's certainly possible, and you're confident that you've seen a lot of these success cases with your customers.
Yeah, and you've heard, you said some names in the beginning. We've already done those tests with them, and we showed some positive results.
And in terms of incrementality, I just want to ask more. Can you a little bit elaborate on how do you measure incrementality?
Yeah, definitely. So at Adikteev, we decided to use a methodology called ITT, intent to treat. It's the same methodology that is used on the medical field for clinical testing. To, let's say, explain it in an easy way, we will create what we call a control group It means it's like a group of users that won't be exposed at all to any ad during the period. And that's why the alignments that I'm speaking about is very important, because when I say that they don't have to be exposed, it means that the client on his side has to make sure also that they are not exposed to any kind of ads from social media, from even push notification or nothing. On the other side, we have what we call the test group. Those people will be exposed to the ads during a certain period, and then we will compare both of them to see how the behavior is different between this control group, which I will call it the natural people, did they come by their own or not, versus the one who are exposed.
That's really great. So you're actually having two types of holdout groups, control groups. One is the global holdout groups that are not exposed to any one of these advertisings, just like not at all.
Yeah.
And the other control group is those users that are more channel specific holdout groups. For example, they're not exposed to your campaigns, but they might be exposed to the other channels campaigns.
No, I'm so sorry. Maybe I wasn't very clear. When I say control group, it's like let's take an example of one gaming studio. So we have this gaming studio. He's running ads with us, but maybe with social media and also maybe other DSPs.
Got it.
I hope not, by the way. So what happens is that when we create this control group, so we make sure that they're not exposed to this studio ad. Sorry, I should have been very clear. So this company will make sure that those users will not see any ad related to them. People can be exposed to other ads. It's not a problem.
Got it.
So on our side, it's like what we call a blacklist. We put it on a blacklist. On their side, the client makes sure that it's the same. So those users from this studio won't see any ad during the period, can be 1 week, 2 weeks, etc. And the test group, which is exposed, will see those client ads.
Got it.
Thank you.
So, I mean, thanks for your explanation.
Yeah.
That was really helpful. So by having this kind of experiment about incrementality, those like gaming publishers and studios who might worry about this organic cannibalization can be convinced of the effectiveness of the re-engagement campaigns, and definitely they can do much better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can prove to them that actually there is a real incremental value brought by the retargeting.
That's relieving because we're also a data company and we measure things, and if things cannot be measured, no one can trust that. So I think you providing such incrementality insights into some of these cases with the customers, I believe is certainly helpful, in really helping them understand the true nature of these campaigns.
And by the way, just a quick thing I want to add, all what I'm saying about incrementality is very transparent. It means that if we compute the results on our side, the partner can also compute the same result on his side. And this is why we are all partnered together, because we rely on MMP data. So we will compute based on the data that we get from you guys, and the partner can do the same to see that we're transparent, our results are the same.
Truly. I mean, incrementality is something that we've been prioritizing for many years, and I think certainly the collaborations between MMPs and DSPs like Adikteev, I think will certainly going to rise in the future in terms of incrementality and uplift.
Thank you.
Sounds good. So maybe the next question I want to ask you is something that we cannot skip because the time is time, right?
Definitely.
The AI. So AI is transforming, pretty much everything right now, including how DSPs operate as well. So what are some of the most interesting ways Adikteev is incorporating AI into your re-engagement strategies or internal tooling?
I love this question because I've been asked this question for, I think, the past months from similar partners. I would start by saying, let's not confuse AI with generative AI. No. It's what a lot of people do right now in the market and even in general. So AI has been part of our DNA since day one, because our entire platform runs and relies on machine learning algorithms. We've been doing this, as I said, for 10 years. So those algorithms has been learning by themselves on billions of data from the gaming inventory. So it's also AI. Yeah. On the other side, generative AI is also used right now at Adikteev to help boost productivity across the company. We're building internal assistants, how to support our teams in campaign management, in reporting, in connection with different platforms. So we are also actively exploring this AI, and the creative potential. There's so many AIs for creative, so we have to be in this field as we have our own studio. So we make sure that we are fully enhancing the creativity to deliver the performance for our clients through these ads. And as I said, our in-house data science team has been working on improving the machine learning for 10 years now. And those machine learning algorithms have been feeding themselves. So to come back to your questions, AI has always been our DNA because it used to be called, from my point of view, machine learning, but Gen AI is something new that we are trying to implement across the company.
You know, I feel you, because as MMP, we actually do have a lot of these AI and machine learning models, just more traditional, like just handling some of the numeric data, not really, you know, the natural language or the image or the videos, but we're dealing with the numbers. And I think because like DSP is at the heart of DSP is a prediction and a personalization engine, which is totally based on these cutting edge ML/AI technologies. So I definitely get it. Yeah, thanks for sharing. You know, I kind of feel like I have to deep dive a little bit into this organic cannibalization issue. You know, some companies, a common hesitation that they have, I hear, is that, you know, these publishers and studios are sometimes wary of advertising to high spending or active paying users. You know, potential cannibalization, they fear that it might happen. So how do you effectively demonstrate and prove the measurable incremental revenue generated by re-engagement campaigns for these valuable user groups? Yeah.
So it's exactly as we just like shared, putting incrementality measurements on the campaigns is key here.
Okay.
Because I got it, I totally get it. Imagine you are a studio, you have active users already paying. Why would you try to pay more for them? It's natural. Maybe you already paid to get them on user acquisition. So here incrementality is key. And I really, really repeat it because we can show that the more those active users are exposed to ad, the bigger their spend will be. The methodology is still the same. As I said, we use ITT, of course, control group, test group. And we've been consistently seeing that these high value users, mainly the payers, tend to spend more and more when they're exposed to engagement campaigns. So it's not about cannibalization at the end.
I see. So like maybe I want to just ask you more about these specifics. Like let's suppose that I'm a gaming studio growth manager. I want to test with you. How does it work? Like, you know, how long should we, should we allocate in terms of this small scale testing? Like how much, like kind of budget? If you could share with me more of these specifics, that'll be great. Yeah.
I love this question also. Thank you, because this is what all our, let's say, future clients that I called leads or future partners are asking. How much budget should I put? How does it work? Again, we've taken it from the other side. I'm not gonna lie, we did some mistakes years ago. We used to say to the partners, hey, you want to do a test, you have to give 10,000, 20,000, or whatever. Now it's completely the opposite way. We rely on facts because we're going to do what we call the pre-launch analysis. So to go a little bit in details, when we onboard a partner, we'll start getting the postbacks or the events from the MMP. We will take 2 to 3 weeks to analyze the whole behavior of the user that we see.
Got it.
And we will recommend what we think would be the best audience segmentation. And for each of the segmentations, we're gonna calculate what would be the budgets. At the end, I'm gonna tell you that we recommend to our partners to start by spending 100K daily, which I would love, by the way. We're to the business too now. But in general, it starts between 500 to 1,000 daily at a global, and then the idea is to scale. And just about incrementality, how does it work here? So for those partners, especially targeting active users or active payers, we will start doing this incrementality since day one. The test can run 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, depending on our partners. And what we recommend usually is after 2 weeks, you have enough data to see the value. Some partners will tell you, no, I want to wait 1 month. No problem, we rely on what you want.
Okay, that's great. So I actually love this word, pre-launch analysis. So it's not a cold start. You actually just like, what happens is you would tell them to turn on the all postback through your MMP.
Yes.
Just like Airbridge. And then once they turn on the postback, you're gonna receive the signals, user behavioral signals from MMP, and you're gonna use them to analyze whether this game could be a good fit for the re-engagement campaigns of Adikteev or not. And if they go with that, certainly because it's incrementality, it's something that you just go with it, consistently from the beginning to the end of the campaigns, and certainly they're going to see how incrementality is being measured from your campaigns as well in parallel with their live campaign. It's great, yeah. So now that we have talked about incrementality and all the great things about re-engagement campaigns, I want to actually maybe talk a little bit about the secret sauce. Everyone's looking for that elusive secret sauce in re-engagement. So for global and APAC gaming clients, which gaming studio has been your most successful case study? And what's been the most effective ingredient Adikteev added to that? Yeah.
So we've seen several successes since we started working in APAC. But honestly, there's no magic formula. I'm gonna be very transparent here. There's no magic formula for APAC market or US market or whatever, because gaming is global. Our approach has always been the same. Focus on deliver real and measurable value, no matter the region. So even before we had a local presence in APAC and mainly in Korea, we were already managing APAC clients from Paris. Not easy with the time zone, but results were strong. That said, things have evolved. Having local talents, coming back, to the spirit of the Addict team that I said it before. So those local talents on the ground, people who can speak the same language, understand cultural nuances, and build close relationships, has become one of our advantages in the region. So I would have loved to share with you a magic formula, but we address all our gaming clients the same way, no matter the geo. The only thing that helps is, as I said, having local people to adapt to the culture and to the language.
Yeah, that makes sense. So always go back to the classics and the basics. If you stick with that, then you can make any one of these success cases everywhere in the world. That's great.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like cross-border and global expansion is a thing. It's been a thing for many years for many APAC-based customers, especially like China, Vietnam, and Korea. And also there's a lot of European or North American-based companies wanting to enter the APAC market as well, vice versa. So what are the key considerations, for example, for these APAC companies that they need to know, and how does Adikteev team can help them navigate that complex journey? Yeah.
Of course. So as mentioned before, we hold a leading position in the gaming vertical, meaning that our partners or any partner who needs our help to address any markets, we can have them benefit from our deep expertise and some of the most advanced machine learning algorithms on the market. They can also verify our industry reputation. We are recognized as the trust partner for our transparency, accuracy on delivering the results. And on top of that, we're known in the US and the EMEA markets because they are very big for gaming. So we've built a strong connections across supplies there, platforms, and also key partners in the region that can naturally benefit our APAC clients. So any APAC clients looking for a global, we can support them with deep market insights, competitive benchmarks and analysis, and definitely best cases. This will help them tailor each region dynamics. For instance, going a little bit deeper here, iOS is a key platform in these geos. We didn't speak about iOS, and since what happens with the IGFA, we all know what happens years ago. So we've built our own Adikteev ID that is internal, and it's used to optimize all iOS campaigns. It's enable the effective retargeting on iOS. So coming back to your questions, without going into the iOS field, we are committed to helping any APAC clients unlock more revenue in other markets, mainly from iOS where it's bigger, and also from Android.
Got it.
And one last piece of the sentence, we can also help them increase their pool of users because we just launched, and I'm happy to share it, our CTV user acquisition products. So any of our APAC clients who are interested in growing their user base even further with CTV, we're happy to help them, especially in the US, which is the biggest CTV market. Sorry.
Got it. I actually just maybe have a couple of more questions based on some of your sharings. You mentioned CTV, and we all understand that CTV is big, but have you seen some of these success cases of your gaming customers utilizing CTV placements to drive re-engagement?
Yes. Sorry, not re-engagement yet. It's here user acquisition. Why? Because we are just waiting for some technical adjustments and alignments from the global partners and MMPs to be able to do re-engagements. Because when we started building our CTV products, as we're a re-engagement company, we started building this for re-engagement. Then we realized that for the attribution, it still, let's say, requires more technical knowledge and alignments, which can happen, I think, in the coming months. So that's why we shifted our product to on user acquisition for CTV. So if I may answer your question, CTV user acquisition, we've been doing this. We started back in last November, so it's quite new, with just some beta partners because it was beta products. And we've seen some good results. And we just started scaling it. And I can share we have almost 20 partners running right now on user acquisition for CTV. So it's quite great. It's a good surprise for us too.
It's actually really great to see this digital programmatic inventories getting expanded to the new world of CTV. And now it's like great to see that a lot of gaming companies are experimenting with the CTV as their new inventory option. I think that's great. So I think we have discussed about a lot of things, but maybe something that we forgot to address today is the privacy first world that we're living in. You actually mentioned just now that Adikteev is having your own unified ID to really enhance some of the targeting mechanisms for the iOS users. And could you elaborate more on some of the future-proof mechanisms that your company's right now having?
Yes, of course. So iOS is very important for all our partners who they all want to do more and more from iOS. So initially we continued since the IDFA update from Apple. We continued to do retargeting on iOS the basic way, targeting IDFAs from users who are opt-in. But there's like a big portion of users who are opt-out from the gaming app, but they still opt in elsewhere. So this is where probabilistic attribution comes. So we decided to build this ID that help us have a unified one for one users, because if one user say yes on one app, we might know probabilistically with a lot of variables that are into this ID that it might be 90% the same person we're targeting. And this is how we increased for the past year our ability to target iOS users by 20 to 30% on some partners. By the way, gaming companies did also a lot of efforts on this field, and we have some partners in the US today that already have 40 to 45% opt-in naturally on their side. So imagine with those kind of campaigns, they are able to reach out to 50, 60% sometimes of their iOS users on their engagements, which is really great because we know that the revenue will be interesting.
So got it. Taoufik, thanks for sharing. So, thanks like Taoufik for all the insights today. It's really clear that re-engagement is no longer just a nice to have. It's becoming essential for gaming studios and publishers that want to build sustainable growth. So maybe before wrapping up, I just want to, have a little bit of time for you to share your last message with the audience. Yeah.
Of course. So first of all, thank you, Roger and the Airbridge team for organizing this interview. I'm really glad to be here and share some insights. And I want to also address the Korean market that I want to thank because we felt really welcome the best way since day one when we arrived here. So thank you guys for the trust. It's still the beginning for us. We believe in really exploring this market all together, and I'm sure there will be a lot of success.
That's great. So at Airbridge, we're proud to be an MMP built for games, focused on giving studios and the publisher the most accurate, actionable data that they need to scale smarter. And it's partners like Adikteev with their best-in-class re-engagement solution that help turn the data into real business outcomes. So we're excited to see more gaming studios and publishers, especially stemming out from APAC, like China, Vietnam, and Korea, embracing re-engagement as a core growth strategy. And we talked about this a lot, and we look forward to working together to support that journey. So thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.